yung classifications nila as flagellates because all of them contains a flagella. Okay? Okay? So basically, class, flagellates belongs to the phylum Protozoa and are members of subphylum Mastigophora. The flagellates can be categorized into two groups. Take note, they are categorized into two groups. There are those flagella where harbors or which harbors our intestine. So there are intestinal flagellates, and there are also flagellates class that infects our other parts of the body aside from the intestine. So tinatawag silang atrial flagellates. So atrial flagellates class are those flagellates which infects our mouth and our vaginal or the reproductive organs. Okay, the vaginal, usually sa babae kasi siya, meron talaga siyang nag-show siya ng symptoms. Okay? So the flagellates can be categorized into two, again, intestinal and atrial. So in this discussion, we're going to focus on the flagellates morphology, laboratory diagnosis, life cycle, epidemiology, clinical symptoms, treatment, and prevention and control. Okay, so there are 8 members of the flagellates, each of which is known to infect humans. Okay, so 8 sila lahat. Okay? So next, ito yung appearance talaga basically ng flagellates. Merong flagella. Okay? So movement of flagellates is accomplished with the presence of the flagella. Okay, kaya kasi natin tinawag na flagellates, no? Because of its unique morphologic characteristic. Meron siyang additional whip-like structure na tinatawag na flagella. So ginagamit yan for movement. So the only morphologic stage ng isang flagellates na merong flagella is yung trophozoid. Okay? Some of the flagellates class contains or produces only one morphologic stage. Yung iba, kompleto. Meron silang cyst and cyst and trophozoid stage. Yung ibang flagellates naman class, isa lang. Trophozoid stage lang ang kanilang morphologic stages or morphologic stage. Okay, all flagellates life cycle consists of a trophozoid form. Pero cyst on the other hand are not known to exist in several of the flagellates life cycle. Okay, some lang naman. Okay? So the general characteristics of flagellates, trophozoids, are similar of those amoebic trophozoids. Okay? So pareho lang din, class, ang characteristics nila. Okay? So when they enter the human body, doon sa kompleto ang kanilang morphologic stage from cyst na nakuha from outside environment or from contaminated food or water, okay? Papasok sa katawan, they would perform existation. Magiging trophozoid sila. And then they can infect now the body. Okay? For those na isa lang ang morphologic stage, trophozoid lang talaga, meron silang other characteristic. Okay? They are much more resistant to uh, harmful environment. Okay? Di ba sabi natin dati, ang vegetative stage ng isang parasite class is a trophozoite. Siya yung eating stage. Okay? Pero, the disadvantage of being a trophozoite is that sensitive siya with harsh environment. Sa case ng flagellates class, may ibang flagellates wherein masyadong matibay ang mga trophozoites nila. They are resistant to destructive forces like the acid in the stomach or any enzymes in the stomach or even the harmful outside environment. Okay? So in addition, these trophozoites also appear to survive the outside environment. So nabubuhay sila sa labas. Okay? So nag-evolve din yung kanilang stage. So in flagellates life cycle that consists of both trophozoites and cysts, the process of encystation and excistation occur, similar to those of the amoebas. Di ba? Pagpasok nakakuha ka ng cyst outside from contaminated food, and then you ingest it, it will perform or it will going to perform excistation. Magiging trophozoite siya sa katawan. Ilalabas siya ng katawan naman, and then the trophozoite will undergo encystation. Magiging cyst siya ulit. Okay? To survive from the outside environment. This cyst may survive in the outside environment just like of those of amoebas. Okay? Okay, so laboratory diagnosis. Basically, class same pa rin with the amoebas. Okay, so stool sample, and you can study these parasites that contains flagellates, or flagellates may reveal trophozoites and cysts on loose, liquid, or soft stool specimen. Yung trophozoite. The flagellate cyst naman class can be commonly found on formed stool sample. Okay, nuclear characteristics, okay, such as number of nuclei present and the presence of positioning of the nuclear structures are helpful in determining the flagellates. Pero class, aside from that, meron pang extra na parts ang isang flagellates. Meron siyang tinatawag na undulating membranes. Itong parang ruffled on the side ng isang flagellates. So again, it is also used for movement. At meron siyang axostyle. Okay? Axostyle, nasa gitna yan siya. This is an axostyle. A rod-like support structure found in some flagellates. So it is often more crucial in determining proper parasite identification. Okay? So it is important to note that although the flagellate trophozoites technically possess flagella, these structures are not always visible. Okay? Minsan class, marami kasing parasites class na wherein more than or multiple yung kanilang flagella. Okay? Pero usually, nakikita lang ito. Yung nasa bottom portion or sa top portion. Yung iba hindi nakikita or hindi visible under the microscope. Okay? So it is important to note that although the flagellate trophozoites technically possess flagella, so medyo invisible siya in the microscope. Okay? So pathogenesis and clinical symptoms, pareho sila almost ng isang or ng pathogenesis ng amoeba. Okay? Kaya nga siya tinawag na, or the symptoms are always of the same of amoeba because they also cause diarrhea. Okay, before class, ang daming namamatay na patients of dehydration because of excessive defecation. Okay? Nawawalan sila ng tubig because of diarrhea. Flagellates are often recovered from patients suffering from diarrhea without an apparent cause. In addition, there are numbers of asymptomatic flagellate infection. So, yung ibang flagellates class, asymptomatic. You have already ingested the parasite, pero hindi ka nagkakasakit. Okay? Except for one. Meron tayong tinatawag na flagellates wherein siya yung nagkakos talaga ng diarrhea. Okay? Siya si Georgia intestinalis. It is considered as the only pathogenic flagellate. Okay? Each of the atrial So, si Georgia intestinalis class is a intestinal flagellates. Okay? Each of the atrial flagellates naman can cause symptoms such as areas in the mouth and genital tract. Diba dalawa yung types natin ng flagellates? We have intestinal and atrial. Intestinal, sa tiyan. Atrial, they can cause infection on our mouth and on our genital tract. Ibig sabihin, sexually transmitted infection. Okay? Okay, so first on our list ng ating mga flagellates, we have the Georgia intestinalis. Okay, so it is known to cause Georgiasis and traveler's diarrhea. Okay, the first it is also known or formerly known as Circumonas intestinalis. Okay, sa time namin class, it was Georgia lamblia. Okay? Sa time namin it was known as Georgia lamblia. When I was scanning yesterday yung CDC na file about Georgia class, nag-change na naman yung name. Okay? So ngayon, mas piniprefer ng CDC to name it as Georgia duodenalis or duodenale. Okay? So pero, niretain ko yung name class because intestinalis yung nasa book natin. Okay? Sa book ba ninyo, duodenale na? Duodenalis na siya. Oh, yes. Sa class, sa CDC na file, duodenale siya. Okay, so, pero we will going to retain, yes, hindi mo siya makikita na intestinalis because duodenalis siya sa online. Okay, sa CDC na website. So, yun ang ginamit nila na name. Okay? Pero same pa rin yan class. Sa time nga namin, Georgia lamblia siya. So, initially, it was known as Circumonas intestinalis. This important flagellate was first discovered in 1859 by a French scientist, Dr. F. Lamblia, and with the help of Dr. Jard. Okay? So, because of the contributions of these two scientists class, okay, they named the parasite before them. Okay, so they named the parasite after them, They named the parasite after them. Dr. Lambel and Dr. Jard. Okay? Kaya nga sa time namin, it was named as Georgia lamblia. Okay? Pero now, they are still, it was in 1950, when they named the parasite Georgia lamblia. So until now, class, the name of the parasite is still on review. Okay, with the Commission on Zoological Nomenclature. Ano na ba talaga ang pwedeng gamitin or yung pwede talagang itawag sa parasite nito under Zoological Nomenclature. So, pero sa book kasi natin intestinalis siya, so we will going to retain with this name. Okay? So, ano lang yan siya, class, na if you read on other references, pag makabasa kayo ng lamblia or Georgia duodenale, it is still referring to Georgia intestinalis. Okay? Siya lang yung bukod tangi na pathogenic na flagellates. Okay? It causes diarrhea or also known as traveler's diarrhea. Before kasi class, diba, it was discovered 1859 pa. Travelers, wala naman before. Wala namang aeroplano or train before. So they are traveling with carriages or even walking. Naglalakad lang sila while traveling. So, of course, wala din silang source of water. Wala din namang 7-Eleven dati. Walang mga mall or mga supermarket. So, ang way lang nila or ang source lang nila ng tubig is yung mga body of water. Yung mga fresh body of water like rivers, falls. Okay? So, yun lang yung pinagkukuhaan nila ng source ng tubig. Okay? So, pag makakuha sila ng tubig in class, they drink it. So, and then, hindi nila alam na contaminated siya with Georgia intestinalis. So, nangyayari, nagkakaroon sila ng diarrhea and they eventually get dehydrated because of that and eventually died. So, wala namang gamot pa noon. So, kaya medyo delikado ang traveler's diarrhea before. Okay? So, what they did was, before they drink the water, pinapakuluan muna. Okay, even now, it is still applicable. Okay, pero ngayon, hindi na masyado kasi meron na tayong mineral water, may 7-Eleven, di ba? So, hindi na masyado yung pakulo ng tubig, no? May delivery pa nga. Okay? So, these are the appearance or the portrait of the two scientists, okay? Dr. Jard and Dr. Lambel. Okay? Which the Georgia Lamblia was named after. Okay? So, sila yung scientists where naka-discover or because of their contributions in the field of pathology, pinangalan sa kanila si Georgia Lamblia. Okay? So, with the morphology of parasites or of the Georgia Lamblia class, for the trophozoites, meron siyang 5 to 16 micrometer with the average of measure of 10 to 15 micrometer long. Okay? So, meron siyang, it exhibits motility that resembles of a falling leaf. Okay? Pag nakabasa kayo pag nakabasa kayo class ng libro or question sa board exam na what flagellates resembles a falling leaf. So, that's automatically Georgia Lamblia or falling leaf motility. Ano ba yung falling leaf motility class? Okay, tingnan natin. Of course, nakakita naman siguro yun ng falling leaf, no? Except doon sa mga hindi lumalabas sa bahay. Or hindi pa nakakita ng puno. So, meron akong picture here, or video rather, of the microscopic appearance of a Georgia Lamblia trophozoite. Okay? Para maano niyo class, ma-visualize niyo kung ano yung appearance or ano yung movement ng falling leaf na tinatawag. Yan. That's a falling leaf. Hindi maganda yung specimen nila, no? Kasi talaga sa freshly collected specimen class, gumagalaw talaga ng pababa yung Georgia Lamblia. Okay, so the falling leaf movement. Okay, so the trophozoite is bilaterally symmetrical. Kung ano yung left, ganun din ang right. Okay, containing 2 ovoid spherical nuclei. So dalawa yung nuclei niya. With each large caryosome usually centrally located. Usually, class, we describe Georgia Lamblia as an old man wearing eyeglasses at merong whiskers. Diba? Very unique siya, class, no? Kasi para siyang may mata. Si Georgia Lamblia. Kung ano yung left, ganun din si right. Meron din siyang peripheral chromatin. The peripheral chromatin is absent. And these nuclei are best detected on permanent stained specimen. Usually, class, pag NSS lang ang ginamit mo, makikita mo yung shape ng trophozoite. But the nucleus is barely there, no? Almost transparent. But if you use Lugol's or other permanent stain, mas visible yung appearance ng nucleus or the nuclei. Okay? Meron din siyang axostyle sa gitna, which is composed of the axomemes. It is defined as the intestinalis. Yun yung nasa loob. Okay? The axon class is the interior portion of the flagella. Yun yung nakakonect sa labas. Okay? 2 slightly curved rod-like structure known as the median bodies. Okay? Sa ibang book class, they call it as parabasal bodies. Okay? Sa ibang book, they known as the median bodies also known as the parabasal bodies. Okay, it is located from the name itself, it's located in the median part. And then, Intestinalis trophozoite class has 4 pairs of flagella. So, ibig sabihin, merong 8 lahat. Okay, 1 pair originates anterior end na sa taas. 1 pair naman class on posterior na sa baba. And then 2 pairs is located laterally, nasa gitna. Okay? So they have Giardia lamblia or Giardia intestinalis has 8 flagellates all in all. Okay? So meron din siyang ito class, tinatawag itong rhizoplast, or sa ibang book tinatawag siyang sucking disc. Ano yung purpose ng sucking disc class? The sucking disc class is covering 50 to 75% of the ventral surface. Ano yung purpose ng sucking disc? It serves as a nourishment point of entry by attacking to the intestinal villi of the infected human. Okay, siya yung ginagamit ni trophozoite or ni Giardia intestinalis trophozoite para kumain or kumuha ng nutrients from the intestine or the duodenum. Okay, siya yung magsasak ng nutrients out of its human host. Kaya nga siya sucking disc. Okay? For the cyst class, ito yung appearance ng cyst, no? Meron siyang 4 na nuclei. Pero on the microscopic level class, ito siya. Almost the same ng appearance with the amoebic cyst. Diba? Almost the same. Pero with the permanent stain class, ma-identify talaga siya because of the 4 nuclei. Sa gilid siya. Okay, the cyst is ovoid. The size is 8 to 17 long by 6 to 10 micrometer wide. Colorless and smooth cyst walls is prominent and distinct from the interior of the organism. Meron siyang 4 nuclei which is best seen in iodine wet preparation. Ito siya, wet iodine ito. Okay. Mature, the newest form of identifying Giardia is using the real-time polymerase chain reaction or the RT-PCR. Same sa ginagamit for COVID-19 detection. Okay? Kasi nga minsan class, cannot identify kung anong klaseng flagellate cyst ang nandyan sa stool sample. Okay? So ang ginagawa nila class, mas na-identify siya using the RT-PCR or mas accurate. Of course, the RT-PCR is much more accurate but much more expensive compared to DFS. Okay? So, it is the life cycle ng ating Giardia lamblia. Diba, as what we have been saying a while ago, Giardia lamblia, meron siyang dalawang morphologic stage. Meron siyang cyst, meron siyang trophozoite. Ito yung kanyang sucking disc class, oh. Here, sucking disc. Okay? So, ito yung nagsasak ng mga nutrients from the microvilli or the villi of the intestine. Okay? Since dalawa yung stage niya class, the cyst is on the the cyst is the infective and diagnostic stage, both of them. Okay? So, from outside, makaka-ingest ka ng cyst from contaminated food and water, and then it will go into the intestine. It will going to undergo excistation. Excistation. From cyst to trophozoite excistation. Okay, magiging trophozoite siya. Okay? From being a trophozoite class, doon na siya makakuha ng nutrients from the body. Okay, lalabas sa body natin, again, in the form of cyst. Or it will going to undergo excistation ulit to survive the outside environment. Okay, so yun yung basically the life cycle ng isang Giardia intestinalis or Giardia lamblia. Okay, for the life cycle of our Giardia, okay, on ingestion, the infective Giardia intestinalis cyst enter the stomach. Okay, the digestive juice, particularly the gastric acid. Take note, class, the digestive juice, particularly the gastric acid, will stimulate the cyst to excise. Okay, it will undergo excistation. Okay, magiging trophozoite siya in our duodenum. Kaya nga siya tinawag na Giardia duodenale. Okay? The resulting trophozoites become established and multiply approximately every 8 hours via longitudinal binary fission. Yun yung way niya para mag-multiply. Ito, if you notice here sa picture class, from cyst to trophozoite, and then it will going to divide, binary fission. Okay, yung isa magiging dalawa every 8 hours. Yung isang parasite, or isang trophozoite, magiging dalawa siya every 8 hours. Take note, every 8 hours. Ganon kabilis dumami ang isang Giardia intestinalis trophozoite. Okay? So, again, di ba sabi natin, trophozoite lang ang capable of multiplication or binary fission. Okay? The trophozoites feed by attacking their sucking discs to the mucosa of the duodenum. The trophozoites may also infect the common bile duct and gallbladder. Changes that result in an acceptable environment for the trophozoite multiplication stimulates encystation. So from trophozoite, it will undergo encystation, magiging cyst siya ulit, so that it can survive the harsh environment or yung outside na nature. Okay? Sa labas, magiging cyst na siya. On its cyst form class, it will going to live. It will going to remain viable for as long as 3 months in the cyst form. Ganon katagal mabubuhay si Giardia intestinalis in its cyst form, up to 3 months. Okay? In its trophozoite form class, entering the outside environment, it will be quickly disintegrate. Kaya nga siya kailangan niya mag-return into cyst morphology para mabuhay siya outside. Sa outside environment, in a cyst form, hanggang 3 months buhay siya. Okay? Pero pag trophozoite siyang lumabas, of course, it's still going to die immediately. Okay? Yan. For laboratory diagnosis class, ito yung ginagamit. Obviously, traditional way talaga of identifying or diagnosing Giardia intestinalis class is through microscopy. Stool sample and then microscopy. Okay? Pero ngayon may mga bago ng test class. Remember the entero test? Yung maglalagay ka ng string, meron silang parang sponge na parang siyang capsule na ipapainom sa'yo, and then yung merong naka-attach na string, and then magko-collect ka ng sample sa intestine, and then hihilain yung string pabalik. Yung iba, yung bagong entero test is parang sponge naman siya. Diba? So that you can collect sample from the duodenum. Okay? Kung hindi viable kasi class, take note class, take note. Meron kasing tinatawag na shower. Okay? Ibig sabihin, okay, it is important to note that Giardia is often shed in the stool in showers. Okay? Ibig sabihin, meaning that many organisms may be passed and recovered in 1 day's sample. So, ibig sabihin class, sa isang stool sample class, lahat ng Giardia trophozoite nandoon. Or Giardia's, okay. And then sa following niya na, sa next niya na sample, wala ka na ma-recover. Okay? Para siyang stool in showers. Okay? So, sa isang sample, madami masyado. Sa next sample niya nawawala. So, kailangan, if you're suspecting Giardia intestinalis or Giardia lamblia infection, it is required to submit multiple specimen. Okay? Kasi hindi mo alam kung saan doon yung magiging viable na specimen for testing. Hindi mo alam kung nandoon ba sa first specimen, second, third. So you require multiple specimen if the patient is suspected of Giardia intestinalis infection. Okay? So, entero test, the normal DFS, and meron din tayong ELISA or the enzyme immunoassay. Okay? Every organism class, for example, bacteria, parasite, or virus, once it enters the body will automatically recognize it as an antigen or pathologic. Okay? Once the body recognizes it as an antigen or immunologic, the body will produce antibodies to fight the organism or the microorganism. Okay? Once na meron tayong antibody class, that antibody is already specific for that particular organism. Pag specific class, it will not attack other organism. It will just attack kung ano yung organism na pumasok sa iyo. Okay? So yun yung tinatest ng mga ELISA and EIA. Okay? The direct fluorescence detection, ang dinidetect nito class is not the antigen but the antibody produced by our own immune system. Again, ELISA and EIA is a test not to detect the antigen or the organism but to detect the antibody na na-produce because of the entry of those organisms. May it be virus, bacteria, or parasites. Okay? So meron tayong EIA or human, kaya nga siya, di ba? Human Anti-Giardia Lamblia IgM ELISA kit. So, lahat ng may anti sa pangalan ng kit class, ang dinidetect niyan is antibody. Di ba? Ano ba? Anti-HBs, AG. Okay? That is an antibody testing. Okay? Yung antibody kit for COVID-19, hindi antigen ang tinitested, but the antibody produced by our immune system. Okay, naintindihan ba? Okay, so next, there are a number of groups of individual at high risk of contracting the Giardia intestinalis, including children, okay, people living in poor sanitary conditions, those who travels and drink contaminated water in unknown endemic areas, and those who practice unprotected sex, particularly homosexual males. And there are several known animal reservoir hosts, including beavers, muskrats, and water voles. Okay. In addition, there is evidence to suggest that domestic sheep, cattle, dogs may also be harbor the parasite and perhaps may even transmit the parasite directly to human. Before kasi wala itong studying na ganito. Ngayon, meron ng vector or meron ng carrier animals. See? Giardia intestinalis. Okay? So I think we should stop here. It's already 3:25. Do you have any more questions regarding our topic? So, nasa first parasite pa lang tayo sa 8. Diba? Flagellates has 8 parasites sa members niya. Nasa una pa lang tayo at saka hindi pa tapos yung Giardia intestinalis. Okay? Actually, mas ahead kayo kasi yung kanina life cycle lang kami. Okay? Naabutan kami ng time. Okay? For your assignment, okay, you have an assignment. Wala tayong pasok bukas. Again, assignment for lecture, you're going to make you're going to choose one particular parasite. Okay? From the Flagellates group, you can refer sa book natin. Diba, we have 8 types of flagellates. Okay? Refer there, choose one, and make a infographic about your chosen flagellates. Okay? Ano ba yung content ng infographic na yun, sir? Ikaw bahala. May it contain prevention and control, the disease that it causes. Pwede ding merong yung description niya, yung size ng kanyang trophozoite, ng cyst, may pictures, okay, kayo bahala. The life cycle, pwede din. Okay? Basta information, or kaya nga siya infographics, di ba? It should give information about the particular parasite. Okay? Choose one out of the 8 and make an infographic about it. Deadline of that will be on Wednesday next meeting. Okay? I am going also to post a quiz. Yes. Quiz for today, pero ang deadline yan again, same sa ating assignment. Sa next Wednesday din. Okay? So, take-home quiz siya. So, take note, after this conference, ipopost ko yung quiz, ipopost ko rin yung assignment. Okay? So, again, thank you everyone for tuning in kahit nawawala-wala yung internet natin, no? Stay put pa rin tayo. Again, thank you everyone for tuning in sa ating YouTube video. Okay? So again, wala tayong pasok bukas. Ano pa? Or yes, rest. Yung iba gagawa daw ng requirements. Di ba? So again, yung sa mga requirements, no, if you pwede kayong mag-refer sa CDC kasi sila ang mas accurate. at sila yung right source for your pictures. Kung hindi naman pwede, you have books online. Pero make sure na tama din yung photos na gagamitin ninyo. Okay? So again, thank you everyone and see you in our next meeting. Bye!